Ben is a security guard who wants to marry Angela.
Did you get her father's blessing yet?
No, it's not her father, it's her brother.
But her brother's a cop and not sure he's ready.
James, I wanted your blessing in asking your sister to marry me.
Show me that you're worthy of her.
How am I supposed to do that?
So he takes Ben on a 24-hour patrol of Atlanta to see if he has what it takes in Ride Along.
Hi, I'm Sean.
I'm Brenna.
And I'm Aaron, and today we're here to talk about Ride Along, the new comedy starring Kevin Hart and Ice Cube. We've all just seen it. Sean, what'd you think?
I will take the wheel here.
Take the wheel.
To be honest, I've just seen it and I've already forgotten about it. That's the kind of movie that we're dealing with here. Ice Cube and Kevin Hart, they throw them together. They're talented guys, they're funny guys, but they don't challenge them to really do anything beyond their own talents, and so you've got a pretty bland, pretty forgettable film.
You don't really go to this type of movie for the story.
Yeah.
You go to see the interaction between these two. You go to see Kevin Hart and you go to see Ice Cube. And they're funny. You know the punchline of the joke before they even set it up. Yet you still laugh at it. You still have a good time.
They're not necessarily going for a story, but you still want a story. You want something that's going to propel you along, and there is no story. It's just these series of basically sketch comedy routines where they have one scenario set up with a punchline, then they move on to the next scenario with a punchline, and maybe this story is not that important to people, but I at least wanted some kind of plot.
Well, it's extremely forgettable. From the first expository, scene in the movie, you know exactly what the plot's going to be. Ice Cube's looking for a criminal that nobody's ever seen before, and by the end of the movie, he obviously finds out who it is and maybe stops him.
Which, by the way, the fact that we have never seen, no one has ever seen the villain before, that's a great way to run a business.
It is. It is.
That makes so much sense, which
good.
is really only written into the movie so that we can have a scene where Kevin Hart impersonates the villain, which just so happens to be the deal that goes down where the villain decides to show up for the very first time.
One of my biggest problems with the story is how stupid the main character is.
Kevin Hart's character?
Kevin Hart's character, Ben, is an imbecile, and you are terrified of him ever possibly becoming a cop. But here's the thing. You would hate this character if it wasn't Kevin Hart. Yeah. Kevin Hart in this role brings a bit of heart and makes you sort of like the character.
Heart bringing heart.
Yeah. Otherwise, this character would be completely unlikable, and it's really the fact that it is Kevin Hart and Ice Cube that makes this film watchable.
It just seems like they wrote the script
for
with
them.
These guys in mind. Yeah, that this is a Kevin Hart movie. And the two of them are good together. They have good chemistry. They bounce off of one another pretty well.
Yeah, for the most part, I did enjoy the cast. I think that Kevin Hart is a talented guy and probably could get a vehicle that will really situate him. This isn't quite it. Ice Cube as well is sort of just playing Ice Cube. He's done it before.
I think he's been doing that since he started acting.
Right. I mean, he's found a groove, and he does it well. I was thinking while watching the movie, okay, here's this stone-cold policeman who hates his brother-in-law, and I was going, he's going to have to change at some point and embrace his brother-in-law, and I don't think I'm ever going to buy it. And I still didn't buy it, but I did think the screenwriters did about as the best job they possibly could with getting that change organic.
Yeah. You call for backup when there's a hostile situation.
I wasn't calling for backup. That was a high-pitched scream. And you pushed my sister in the way.
I pushed your sister out of harm's way. You shined the light at us, James. It's different strokes for different folks, man.
All right, let's talk about our director, Tim Story. He's got quite a background in comedy and action.
Yeah, he did Barbershop, both the Fantastic Four pictures. He also did Taxi, which is probably the most similar film he's directed to this one. He knows what he's doing. It's competent, the action is well choreographed.
There's really no room for directorial flourishes in this type of film, and he stands back and lets his actors do what they're supposed to. And it works.
Yeah, I mean, he obviously has made some action pictures, he's made some comic pictures, so now he has a chance to combine the two of them. The editing, I thought, extended the joke too far almost in every scene. We have a punchline, and then we have Kevin Hart or Ice Cube make about 3 or 4 more quips on top of that, and I thought, well, no, that's the joke. You make the joke, you make the cut, you move on.
Could be an editor thing, though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, the editor and the director are working hand in hand, but I still thought once you get past the punchline, you're just extending things too far. The funniest people ever, once the joke is over and past the saturation point, you can't make it any funnier no matter how funny you are, and that's what they did here.
I just got you a little time in prison.
Man, you're not a cop.
I'm about to make a citizen's arrest.
I make a citizen's arrest, too.
For what?
Impersonating the officer.
What?
You said you were a cop. That's illegal.
Another element of the story that's a little odd to me is this pseudo-commentary on video game culture, where Ben thinks he can be a cop because he's great at this Call of Duty-esque first-person shooter, and they're like, it's not the same out in the streets, it's completely different, and he goes on the streets, and then his FPS, first-person shooter video game skills save the day.
Apparently, they prep you very well for the real world. If you're under actual gunfire, you're going to react exactly the same in real life as you would if you're playing a video game. Mm-hmm. Ride-along stars help keep the film lively, but eventually it's forgettable and not much to ride home about. Skip it.
It's stupid, and you know everything that's gonna happen before it does, but you'll still laugh. Stream it.
Ride Along is a fun buddy cop movie that fans of the genre are going to enjoy, but they should enjoy it at home, so I say stream it.
Our votes add up to 1 full ticket, which is a stream it for Ride Along. Cheers!
Cheers.
Moving right along. For a guy named Tim Story, he sure didn't give us much of one.
AJA Video Systems, proud supporter of Just Seen It, offers a wide range of professional acquisition and post-production solutions. Learn more at aja.com/PTV.